Welcome back to Business Breakfast in Bedhead. I actually do these live calls on Instagram. I would love for you to come and hang out with me at them. So if you don't already follow me at Dawn Bradley, DAWN BRADLEY, should have made a song about that. Go follow me there because then you can take part in these live calls and can actually chat with me. But if you can't make them, no sweat. Now they're going to be here. So welcome to Business Breakfast in Bedhead. Buckle up, friend, and let's dive in. I overthink, I overshare, and I overanalyze. So come explore with me as I chat about business, life, and relationships, all through the lens of an anxious creative. Good morning and welcome to Business Breakfast in Bedhead. I've got some good bedhead going on for you. Today we're chatting about why clients aren't booking and the real reason behind it. I'm so excited to get into this. If you guys are tuning in live and you've been tuning in all week, you can tell that I put a little bit of a spray tan on myself. I'm feeling it. But first things first, I want you to know that this is a safe space and a judgment-free zone where we can show up real, raw, honest, and vulnerable together. We're all in different places and all in different journeys and all in different parts of our career. There's no shame in having to rebuild your clientele. The one thing I need you to know right now is building a clientele is not linear, it's cyclical. And we need to get out of the mindset that you only build a clientele once and then you should be embarrassed if you're not fully booked. That's not the way it is. You need to create client magnetism all throughout your career in order to get people coming in, because the reality is, if you saw my post yesterday, 2 days ago, 5 reasons why clients leave that have nothing to do with you. Clients will leave your business, leave seeing you and your services for reasons that have nothing to do with you being the most talented, amazing person that you are. People will leave because of convenience. Their life has changed. They've maybe moved, their job's changed. They'll leave because of budget. They're no longer able, maybe they had a baby, maybe their furnace broke. They'll leave because of trauma, and maybe they shared a lot with you and the reminder of coming to you reminds them of something that happened in their life. It has nothing to do with you. So if clients aren't booking in with you, we're going to go over the real reason behind this, and there's many reasons behind this, but we're going to get into it so that you can get fully booked again. So if you're here for this, hi Claire, go ahead and put a 1 in the chat, because I do these lives to help you grow, because I'm very passionate about building clienteles and building businesses. And at the end of the day, I talk a lot about policies and boundaries. I talk a lot about how to price yourself well and how to communicate it. But at the end of the day, if you don't have clients booking in, what does it all matter? And I see people working on those parts of their businesses first, because it's easy and it's safe and you don't have to put yourself out there. But the truth is, the real reason why people aren't booking is because you're scared to put yourself out there. Ooh, I'm so sorry. We're going to dive into this a little bit more, but I love seeing these ones. The reason why clients aren't booking is because you're being scared to be seen. You know you're skilled and talented. You feel really safe in maybe you work in a salon suite, maybe you work in a private office, whatever your setup is, and you feel really comfortable and confident in that space. But when you venture out, maybe it's online and the fear of your family seeing you put something out there, or the fear of friends or high school, Susan from high school, seeing you being silly and goofy or asking for business makes you fear that people might talk shit, or people might be like, oh, look at that pick-me energy, or look at that clingy, desperate energy. And you're afraid to even promote your business because of how people who would never book in with you, people who would never even pay you, what they might say. When you think of it that way, it's kind of ridiculous. Are you with me? Put a yes in the comments if you're with me. We get so caught up in the possibility of someone being judgmental towards us that wouldn't even do business with us, that we don't put ourselves out there. And I'm not just saying only on social media, but maybe it's out at a parent group or wherever you talk to people. You're scared of putting yourself out there. You're scared of being seen because you're scared of being what? Rejected. And the fear of being rejected, and maybe the fear of being rejected by your family and your friends, who are the people who aren't even necessarily going to book in with you and pay you, but that fear of rejection is legit. I remember sitting in my therapist's office once and talking about some family stuff, and she's like, why don't you just like cut them out? And I was like, I don't want to cut them out completely. This is like 2015. And talking about like some stuff going on, and she's like, why? And then I just started bawling, and she's like, here's the thing, Dawn. We're pack animals by nature. As humanity, we're pack animals, and your pack is your family that you're born into. And when you feel like you don't fit into that pack anymore, what happens to a pack member when they stray from their pack? They die. And so when you don't feel like you fit into the pack that you were in, whether it be your family, whether it be your friends, whether it be your coworkers, maybe you're scared of putting yourself out there because you might surpass a coworker and then you might get rejected by the people who feel safe and bring you community. And when you feel like you feel rejected, you feel like you're dying. And emotionally, that's what it feels like. And emotional pain, we feel just as strongly as physical pain. So and I'm like a very, very sensitive person. So I always say, break my arm, don't break my heart. Like I have really high physical pain tolerance. Like you could hurt me physically so bad, but if you hurt my feelings, I get it. The fear of rejection. And so I know a lot of times, thanks Burgundy. I know a lot of times that you might not even consciously realize that your fear of putting yourself out there to attract clients, to get them to book in, however it may be. And if you guys didn't know, I'm hosting a live iteration of my client magnet container next week. And if you want to join in on that, today's the last day to get the early bird offer. It's going to be so amazing. We have such amazing individuals in there. But if you don't recognize that you're actually afraid of being rejected by people who aren't actually the people who are going to be paying you, and if you can learn to trust yourself and feel safe within yourself and find a community of people who you can feel supported and safe with, doing big things, putting yourself into situations where you're uncomfortable to learn and grow, you will be amazed at how much easier it is to market yourself and become a client magnet. So I'm curious, does that resound true with you? I know I saw a lot of yeses. So and if you guys feel comfortable, who are the people that you're scared of being rejected by? Because rejection ain't easy, I'll tell you that much. Rejection is not easy. And I have a really, really hard time with the fear of rejection, right? Like it's more, I'm just writing this down because I want to remember this later. The fear of rejection and the fear of people judging me is really, really huge. And that's why I always start off with, this is a safe space and a judgment-free zone in here together. Because I want you guys to know that I'm going to bring my non-judgment. I'm human, but I also know that I judge myself harder than anyone else. And so maybe you're afraid of the own judgment that you've cast onto other people. Maybe you've seen people promote their business before and you've gone, oh, that's cringy, or oh, I can't believe they're being so desperado. Maybe like, oh, they have pick me energy. And you've realized that you've actually been the most judgmental person that you're afraid of. And you're not actually afraid of other people's judgment. You're afraid other people are thinking like you do. That was like one of the hardest things I had to come to a conclusion of, that I was like the most judgy bitch ever. And when I was honest with myself about the fact that I had been really judgy, and when I acknowledged it, yesterday we went through the action plan with care and laziness. And when I acknowledged it and I had compassion and then I tackled it head on and I got inspired by the right people and I stayed optimistic and then I navigated the problem, that spells out action if you guys were here. I learned that I was the problem. I was going to do the Taylor Swift song, but I decided not to. Hey, it's me. And so when you recognize that you're only afraid of what you're thinking, that nothing that's actually happened, or maybe there's something in the past that's happened, that someone said something to you once, that you're afraid of them saying again. I was let go from my shop. That was my biggest fear. Now I have the opportunity to find a boss / a shop that appreciates me. Yes, Sunny Blake, I love that. And the fear of being rejected, or the fear of being let go, or the fear of being alienated, that's like the fear of being alone. I don't know about you guys, but for the longest time in my life, I've never felt like I fit into the industry, and I've never felt like I fit into most places. I got diagnosed with ADHD 3 years ago, and my life started to make sense. I've always felt a little bit quirky, a little bit weird. I've always done things a little bit different. And so feeling that sense of belonging somewhere is huge, whether it be with your family, whether it be your friends, whether it be your workplace. And so when anything presents the possibility and potential of the possibility of being alienated from those places that you feel like you finally belong, we don't want to do it. And so the real reason why people aren't booking is that you're afraid to put yourself out there because you're afraid you'll be alienated. And it doesn't matter how successful you become, if you don't feel like you belong somewhere, that sucks. Put a 1 in the chat if this resounds. I feel like because I'm starting something later in life, it's a little more embarrassing. Like I don't have a career established. It's probably my generation mindset, but that's what pops in my head. Asha Nails, that is so legit. That is so true. So many people that have joined the client magnet container are feeling that exact same way. The embarrassment of being this, like starting a career later on or restarting a career. I felt like I belong in my family business, like I've never felt like I belong in my family business. I felt like I wasn't enough or worth it. Thank you for sharing that, Claire. And so when we feel this threat of not belonging, of being alienated, of being teased, of being ridiculed, of being rejected at our core, We'll do anything, even sabotage our well-being, our financial future, and our business and our career. We will sabotage that to feel a sense of belonging and safety. But can I tell you, the moment that I started to let myself be me, the moment I started to go, F them, I'll find new community, and it's gonna feel like I'm in the middle of the ocean with no one around. It's gonna feel scary for a minute. But I know that I'm gonna find my people when I start being true to myself. I let down my guard. I started showing up as my weird, awkward self, and I found my people, and I developed a community. And that's what I'm doing with the Client Magnet is that, yes, it's scary to put yourself out there, but when we have these live containers, and early bird's ending today, so if you wanna get in on the Client Magnet, please, I reward people who take action. You can still join after today, and it's 100% worth the full price. But I reward people who take messy, immediate, imperfect action and start before they're ready. Because you're going to come into a community of people who are going to be doing the hard thing with you and are going to support you and encourage you. So even if you get rejected or feel like you get rejected or are worried about getting rejected or alienated or losing people, surpassing coworkers can be really hard. If there's been someone in your workplace here and then all of a sudden you're going past them and you bust their excuses for why they've been staying safe where they're at and you go past them, that can be really uncomfortable. I don't like making other people lose. I will sabotage my own growth to make someone else comfortable. If I know they're really competitive and they'll have a hard time with me surpassing them, I won't. I'll sabotage my own growth to make that person feel more comfortable. I'm an empath through and through. I feel other people's discomfort more than I feel my own in the moment. And so I will sabotage my own growth. And I'll share a story about this with you guys first in a second here. I'll sabotage my own growth to make sure someone else doesn't feel uncomfortable for their lack of growth. And so I need you to know that you are sabotaging yourself. And so coming into the community, coming into a container like the Client Magnet, where we're all doing the hard things, we're all pushing ourselves forward, and we're all doing it, is going to be a game changer for you, because I know how scary it is to do it alone. Could you do it alone? Yeah, you could learn everything you need to learn online for free. My education isn't something that is required to get fully booked. You don't have to join the Client Magnet in order to get fully booked months in advance. But I tell you this, with community and accountability of the right people who get it in a safe space and a judgment-free zone, of people who are getting committed to taking messy, immediate, imperfect action with you, to develop their confidence through showing up courageously and vulnerably, you will notice big change. You will see big change, but you have to be willing to do it. I don't want you to join the Client Magnet if you're just looking for another reason to prove that things aren't working and you can never get it and it won't work. The Client Magnet is for people who are nervous, who are anxious, who are scared, but want to get big results, who know that, who've seen me do it, and I show up here live time and time again. And I'm not begging people to join. I'm not asking with pick me energy. Oh my gosh, can you guys please come do the Client Magnet? Right? I'm telling you, it's going to work. It's going to be good if you show up and do the work. And the likelihood of you doing the work when you're in a safe space with a community of people that are encouraging you, and you know you won't be rejected, but you'll be supported. You know you won't get alienated for your efforts. You know that if you fail, you trip up, or you do something embarrassing, we're going to hold you and sit and laugh and cry along with you. That's what the safety of a community is going to do. The likelihood of you actually following through on what you know what to do, but you actually doing it increases. I think it's 95% when you have accountability with the right community. And so let me share this story with you guys. So I had a friend that had the Peloton bikes when they were really big during COVID. And I had this idea of what kind of workout I wanted to do. And I was like, I want to push it. I want to really get a sweat on. It's going to be great. I'm going to do this. And so I went onto my Peloton and I saw that my friend was doing a ride. And I was like, well, I'll do a ride with them. This will be great. And I went in and I started riding, and you can see it's like a number of your output. And so how much effort. And I saw quickly that with showing up the kind of workout that I wanted to do, I was going to surpass this friend. But I knew this friend liked to win, and I knew this friend liked to be number one. And I found myself, as I was going closer and closer to surpassing them, going, oh, I don't want to make them feel uncomfortable. I don't want them to feel like I'm more fit or more in shape than them. Which, I don't know, maybe they were just doing a moseying. We weren't talking. They could have had a very different intention. But I had this feeling of I don't want to make them feel like I'm better than them. I don't want them to feel less than. I don't want them. And I so many times put other people's, not even what they're thinking, what I think they might be thinking. And really, that insecurity of myself is the most egotistical thing that I can have. Insecurity is the most egotistical thing that your ego has so much control of you because you're convincing yourself to play small. Saying I'm insecure is actually the most conceited thing. because you assume people are thinking about you, and you assume people care. I know that's like a really hard one to hear, because we like to go like, well, I'm so insecure and I'm so timid and like I actually really just like to put people first. But me assuming that my friend was even competing with me was a big assumption on my part. And it's a really hard realization to come to. And so I sabotaged right? I sabotaged my own workout because I didn't want her to feel bad. And I was making the assumption that they were going to feel bad by me beating them. Because I knew that they were competitive. I knew that they liked to win. And I was like, well, I don't need to win that much. And I was convincing myself that I was such an honorable person. I don't need to win. That's not an important thing for me. And I really, really believed I was being humble when I was being probably the most conceited thing I could ever be, is like, I'll let them win. And I sabotaged my own workout. And we do this in our businesses. You do this in your career building. And you think it's an honorable thing, right? I'm going to read this in a second, Tara. You think it's an honorable thing, but it's actually the most it's your ego having control over you and sabotaging you. True confidence shows up uninhibited and not worried about offending other people, because you can't control what other people think or feel, regardless. So whether you try to play small or you play big, people are going to think what they're going to think. You can't make people like you. And my deep, deep insecurities, I just want everyone to like me. That is it is like probably going to be a lifelong thing. I want to feel safe, secure, and loved. And so I do anything. And I realize when I look at how I self-sabotage, when I look at the things that I do, it's always come from a place of creating safety, security, and being liked. Oh, that's so hard to admit online for you guys. But I want you to know that's my commitment to you, showing up real, raw, honest, and vulnerable. Tara, just joining. I wanted to celebrate my win today with this community. I stepped into a new business that sells formal wear and rents out ballroom space for proms. It was a super fancy store. I went in and I introduced myself, left cards, and had a great conversation. I left with some flyers for her business. Community matters. I'm so proud of myself. Tara, I'm so proud of you too. So I'm curious, those of you guys who are here right now, how many of you guys are ready, or you feel like you need to put yourself out there more? You know the thing standing in your way is yourself. The reason why clients aren't booking is because you're not showing up and putting yourself out there. And you're ready to acknowledge it. That's all I'm asking. Are you ready to acknowledge it? Put a 1 in the chat. If you're ready to start with acknowledging it, that's where we can start. I'm not telling you to take a big action step. If you look at my action acronym, I think I have it in my notebook. Acknowledge. And then have compassion. This is where I want you to start. When you join the Client Magnet, we'll tackle it together, right? When you join the Client Magnet, we'll tackle it together. If you want to know how to join the Client Magnet, shoot me a DM, or the link is in my bio, or you can check out my highlights and read more about it. Today's last day to get early bird, because I reward action takers. It's going to be delivered live this first time. So you're really getting an amazing, amazing deal. And it's going to be a passive program eventually, but you're going to get it live right away. I noticed that when I go and talk to people and give them a card, more times than not, they book with me. I love that. Claire, I do. So all you have to do is to start to take action is you need to start to acknowledge where you're at and that you're ready. And then have compassion if you're feeling embarrassed about where you're at. If you're feeling like, well, I'm too late in the game, or like, I don't know, this might be too far in, turn that into compassion rather than judgment. The quicker you can have compassion with yourself and the way you think, the quicker you'll fear less of people judging you. The moment that I started to be able to show up more real, raw, honest, and vulnerable was the moment that I stopped assuming that other people thought as judgmentally as I did. And the moment that I started having more compassion towards myself and the way I thought, and changing my judgmental ways. Like I said, I used to be a judgy bitch, you guys. I was so self-righteous. I thought I had the answers. I had it better than everyone else. And this was in my life and my business. And the moment that I went, holy shit, I'm convincing myself that I am so humble, when really I believe internally that I am way better than these people, and judging other people. And this was more in my life than my business, but it seeped into my business. And the moment I had to have compassion and go, wow, Dawn, you've lied to yourself for so long that you've convinced yourself that this is true, that you're a humble, caring person, when really I was, hey, Ben, when really I was super judgmental. And it was such a hard realization. So the moment that you can start to have more compassion for yourself and more compassion for the things you've gone through, the things that you're currently experiencing, and the hiccups that you never expected to go through in your life and business. Have compassion. You'll stop fearing judgment from other people. Because when you start to assume people think like you and you get out of your judgmental thinking, like if you're judgmental on the inside, so being insecure and afraid of people judging you generally means that you're judgmental yourself. The moment you start to become more compassionate with yourself and think more compassionately and go, instead of judging somebody for making a mistake or failing, going, good for them for trying. Success is born out of failure. The pathway to success is failure. And you start having compassion for other people's failures and how they show up messily. You'll fear less what other people think of you because you'll assume people are thinking as compassionately as you are. Put a 1 in the chat if that resounds. I know I need to step out and show up, but when it comes down to it, I can't take those steps. Claire, let's start with reframing that. Instead of saying I can't, what did I just do? Instead of saying I can't, start with I struggle with. I'm currently working on. And I know words matter, you guys. Words matter. And so how you phrase it makes a big difference. I overthink it. Yeah. Here, let's see. I can't see this here. I overthink it and I always stumble on my words and the conversation gets awkward and I just end it and walk away. I struggle with transitioning from compliments to my business. Claire, did you join the Client Magnet? I would really love to have you in there and work with you. So with the Client Magnet, you guys, with the Client Magnet container, so if you've bought the Client Building Bundle before, there's the Client Magnet mini course in there. This isn't the same thing. This is a live container where we'll be doing live calls. I'll be walking you through the framework to become a client magnet, and you'll be able to ask me questions one-on-one on your business. So we're diving deep into this. Hi, Jessie and Claire. I would love to be able to help you because overthinking, stumbling on your words, that's how I started. And I continue to do it, right? And so I'm going to help you with your business and we're going to get you out of that. Not sure if it's just me, but the link to join the group that was sent out isn't working. Oh, thanks, Jessie. I just sent out an email to everyone in the Client Magnet to join the group. I tested it, but we'll try again. You can do it, Claire. We believe in you. This hasn't been easy for me either. Baby steps. Yes, I love that. So I just want you guys to know that today is the last day to snag the early bird to the Client Magnet if you're at all interested. Sometimes I overthink and wonder if anything will ever work for me. Oh, yes. Sorry, Shane. I know that feeling. And when we get stuck in that mindset and we get stuck in that fear, we act from a place of fear. And I've been in this place recently with my own business going, well, what if? And I don't know. Instead of acting of course this is going to work. Instead of the what if it all goes wrong, it's just as powerful to go, what if it all goes right? What if you go for it? I know that it's easy to stay in the what if it all goes wrong and try to play it safe. But what if you took messy, immediate, imperfect action with courage and vulnerability and started going, what if it all went right? If you knew it would all go right, what would you do? Is it the bundle? No, the client. So it's very different than the bundle. But if you've bought in the bundle, this will be a huge compliment to it. This is a live container where I'm doing the calls live and you'll be able to ask me direct questions on your business. So I want you guys to know that it's going to be amazing. And the link is in my bio. The link you can watch my highlights if you watch the little circles on the top of the profile. Watch highlights to learn more about it. And sorry, I'm getting distracted by the comments. So I want you guys to know that I would love to have you in there. It's not going to be for everyone. It's for people who are ready to get out of their own way, who are ready to show up messy, take messy, immediate, imperfect action, start having more compassion for themselves, and being willing to take the risk of being seen trying. What's it called on your bio? It's, say, the Client Magnet. And if you have any questions, Sunny Blake, I hope that's your name, hit me up. Anyway, today's the last day. You guys don't want to miss out on it. I'm going to go and double check the link that I just sent out to the people who've purchased already so we can make sure that that's changed so that you guys can get into the group. And our live calls start next week. And I am announcing it was going to be 3 calls. I'm going to just tell you guys this now. It was going to be 3 calls. We're going to do a month-long work together. I'm really excited. I'm so committed to helping you grow your clientele and get fully booked. It's really important. So anybody who's joined already, you didn't even know that. We're working together for an entire month to get your clientele building because things don't happen overnight. They don't happen in a week. It takes 3 weeks to create a habit. You guys are gonna kill it. And my goal is for you this fall to be able to be fully booked. I can't do the work for you. That's the thing. You have to be willing to do the work, but I can be there to help guide you, mentor you, encourage you, motivate you. And like I said, if you're scared of rejection, if you're scared of coworkers saying, who do you think you are now that you're doing this? You're scared of your family saying something, or your friends. That fear of that rejection and being alienated is real. And that's why I'm doing this in a live container with a community, so that you have a place where you belong, where you feel safe to show up messy, where you feel safe to show up and fail, because failure is the pathway to success. And we're going to do this together, and we're going to show up courageously, vulnerably, taking messy, immediate, imperfect action towards your goals so that you can get fully booked. And then we can start working on other things in your business, like policies, boundaries, pricing. But first, let's get people booking in so that you can be making money, so that you're not stressed about your bottom line anymore. I tell myself that as long as I keep the momentum going and growing, it has no other choice but to work out. Objects in motion stay in motion. Hell yeah, Tara. All right, for those of you guys that are going to be joining the Client Magnet today, I can't freaking wait to welcome you in. For those of you guys who have joined already, welcome. And for anyone else that is considering it, shoot me a DM. I'll let you know. I don't want people in that aren't the right fit for it. So I'll let you know if it's not the right fit. Like I said, if you don't relate to me, if you don't like my energy, if you don't like my story, if you don't relate to the struggles that I've been through and overcome, my education's not for you. But if you're like, this girl's fun, I like her, she's built and rebuilt a clientele 6 times on 3 different continents, she knows what to do, she's introverted, anxious, I'm from a small town, I didn't think I was going to amount to much in this life, and I thought success was reserved for more deserving people. I thought I was just like an extra in a movie. But you know what? You're the main character of your own life. You get to call the shots. You get to be the star role. And let's start acting like it and showing up like it. Cool? So go check out the Client Magnet. The link is in my bio. It's also, you can learn more about it in my highlights. Watch my stories. Early bird goes away tonight, because I reward action takers. You can join tomorrow too, by all means. And I know there will be people joining, because the program is worth it. You will get results. You will get your money back as long as you show up and are willing to fail and fail again and navigate and adjust. And we're going to go deeper into that inside the curriculum, inside the Client Magnet. It's going to be amazing. I will see you guys. It's Friday today, isn't it? I don't normally go live on the weekends, but we'll see. Keep your eyes out. You probably want to I don't teach social media, because I know how to market myself and use social media. But if you want to set reminders or whatever for my posts and my lives, do that. I don't know how to do it. You can build a business without being tech savvy or without being an Instagram guru. I'm proof. All right, you guys, we'll see you inside the Client Magnet. Until then, stay weird. Bye. Thank you so much for listening to the podcast and for tuning into Business Breakfast and Bedhead. Like I said, I would love for you to join me live on these over on Instagram. So once again, just look up Dawn Bradley and let's connect. Shoot me a DM, send me a screenshot, tag me in your stories of listening to this or what you took away from this. Those comments, that feedback really makes my day and helps me know that these things are landing and that you want to hear more. I do these lives and I do this podcast for you to help you, and your feedback means the world to me. And if you enjoyed this episode, help me spread the love. Share it with a friend, a coworker, family member, or leave a review. And make sure you subscribe so that you don't miss out on any future episodes. Thanks so much for being here, and we'll see you next time. Until then, friend, stay weird.